All right, welcome to Video Guys News Day Tuesday. Today's program is going to be an interactive program, interacting with you, our followers, our customers, our fans. We've got some questions asked the Video Guys that you guys have sent us, either via email, chat, or what have you, and we're really excited about that. Also, we're going to keep this kind of interactive, so what's going to happen is Oliver is going to throw me the questions. There's Oliver, there he is, and he's working the show, and he's going to throw the questions to me as well as we get to them. So we wanted to have a special guest this week, but we couldn't because it's the IBC show. Now, IBC is a very big show that's as big and as important in our industry as NAB is. It's basically the broadcast show of Europe. And we found this really interesting. The reason I wanted to put this graphic up there is NAB is in April and IBC in September. And we found a little flow of new products. There's a lot of products that are kind of introduced in secret back rooms at NAB where, you know, a preferred vendor and certain customers will see, but it's not on the general floor. And then they'll tell us, you know, our goal is to have this product ready to announce and ship at IBC. And announce and ship at IBC has become something that's happening a lot. And I like that cadence because IBC is far enough in front of the fourth quarter that we can all get these things on our Christmas year-end wish list. So it's a very cool cycle, and I think now that cycle has become such an ingrained part of the industry that I'm expecting that people at IBC are going to get a sneak peek at products and they're going to say, we intend to announce and ship at NAB. But it's a cool little insight into our industry and stuff like that. So next week, all our vendors will be at IBC. We're going to have a ton of IBC news. As I mentioned in the pre-show, LiveView has already announced a 5G cellular bonded version of the LiveView 600 at the top of their line. Seagate has announced some new additions to their rugged SSD line. Lots of new stuff happening. Watch Video Guys blog, and we'll be posting these new breaking news as we get it go. If you search on the hashtag keyword IBC, you'll get all those IBC reports on one easy page, although I'm sure it'll be more than a page full. Okay, Oliver, what's our first question?
Alrighty, so we were talking before about guests actually, which is funny because our first question is about our guests. And the question comes to us from Michelle, and she wants to know, how do we bring in our guests in such high quality when you have them on the show?
Oh, that is a great question, and the way we do it is the miracle of Skype TX and new tech talk show technology. We do this through our TriCaster. The TriCaster TC1 actually has built-in talk show to be able to bring two Skype TXs. And with the Skype TX, this is a business enterprise level of Skype that really brings in the people at a really great level. And the audio looks great, the video looks great, and the audio sync is fantastic. If you want to bring in more people through talk show, you can get additional talk show in a rack. The TS4000 will get you 4 more people in there. So we use the talk show. If you have any questions about it, how it works, if you don't have a TriCaster, you can get a talk show as a standalone device to integrate into your existing video mixing streaming solution. So new tech talk show Skype A+. Oliver, hit me with the next one.
All right, and then speaking of our former shows, I think people have been enjoying them, Gary, because the next question is on something that we did actually just a couple weeks ago. And the question is, can you resize the chroma key on the VO2 HD? All right. And that comes to us from Josh.
Josh, a regular listener who's over there. Okay, the answer is unfortunately no. This unit will only allow you to do one effect at a time. So you can do PIP or chroma key. You can't do both. So if you're getting involved in more of that, you're going to need a real mixer. But I have the unit over here, and some people asked another question. It might have been Josh who asked the question, is can I use this with a SlingStudio? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. In fact, one of the ways it's a great way to use this is you can have it now give you 2 inputs into your SlingStudio hub via HDMI. So you take the 2 inputs into the Roland, and then one goes into the hub. You can still mix in through the hub all your connects and your phones and things like that. So this with SlingStudio is a great addition, and we really love it. And like if you saw our show, it was either a week or 2 ago, I can't remember which it was, Oliver, but we showed how you can mount it on a tripod next to the camera operator. So the camera operator could actually be switching between these two, or the talent could do it with the pedal. So really cool product, very exciting. Unfortunately, it can't do 2 effects at the same time. Next question.
Alrighty, so another question that we got concerning some older webinars that we've done is a couple weeks ago we did a show with Adam talking about multicam. And so the question comes to us from Frank, and what Frank wants to know is, did we break the 180-degree rule?
Guilty as charged, throwing ourselves on the mercy of our viewers. Yeah, we did break the 180 rule on 2 of our diagrams. We weren't telling you to break the 180 rule. When we followed up on the diagrams, we realized we were. The 180 rule is basically when you're watching TV or film, you can't really cross that line of where you're viewing the program from. And the 180 rule could be through the 2 viewers or right down the middle. And we had 2 cameras that were actually crossing each other. So if you see on this one, we have the end cameras. Can I illustrate this?
Absolutely.
Really, these cameras are pointing in this way. Let me go to the next one, which we showed you, which was the choir one. We originally had the cameras like this and like this. And that's the no-no. That's where you're breaking that plane. So we're repositioning that on the diagram. We absolutely agree with you. Camera 2 on the choir, camera 3 on the special guest. We were breaking the plane with the bonus camera because that was really to get shots of the people in the church watching the service, to get reaction shots, wide shots of them, close-ups. Now, one of the things I do want to add is if you want to break that plane, if I had camera 3 on the special guests, and let's say I really want to do a tight close-up of one of those guests, for that I could have this camera doing that tight close-up on them, but I've got to really make sure that it's such a shot that I see no angle. It's just really a headshot, a top third shot. Anything more, and you're going to throw things off. So I want to thank you guys for pointing that out to me, Frank, and that'll be corrected, and we're actually going to include that corrected slide in the blog post. Also on that one, we had a comment from someone who actually has shot professional basketball games, who said our basketball layout, really wasn't that good because really what you normally have is 2 cameras up in the bleachers. One camera's on the wide shot following the action, where the other one is the quote-unquote star cam, where basically, if it's LeBron going against, give me a name, Westbrook, you're going to have the cameraman whenever the Cavs or whatever team he's on, the Lakers now, has the ball, you're going to focus on him. He's going to focus on Westbrook. That's the right way to shoot a basketball game. But that requires a real expert camera operator on a really true broadcast camera operating that way. So yeah, if you want to try that, but remember, our tips here were for people doing their first multicam shoots, going from a single camera even a phone to multicam. So we want to keep it really simple. The other thing, once again, I want to point out with these cameras is these cameras that are up here, these 2, are really taking this view and this view of the action, kind of like a pie. So they're really focusing on that basket. You're not going to take this camera and shoot down here. No, that's not a good thing. So I scribbled a little bit. Definitely John Madden's a better telestrator than me, but let's go to our next question, Oliver.
Alrighty.
So our next question is one that we actually get all the time, but this week it's from George, who watches the show every week.
He's a regular.
Yes, he is. So George wants to know, as video professionals, should we be moving to 4K? Should we be sticking to 1080? Does it matter via stream? And what's the deal with all of that?
We are not recommending streaming in 4K because we don't know that your end viewers are going to be able to reliably view 4K yet. However, we want you to be half pregnant on this one. And what do I mean by that? You should be in the process of migrating your gear to being 4K. Start with a 4K camera, then a mixer that can do 4K. And the reason for that is because 4K glass is so readily available. So why not shoot the footage in the best quality you can, so that down the road, if you have to reshoot the show or re-edit the show, you can have the full 4K at your disposal. Plus, if you're going to be going, not necessarily IMAG, because we know we're not talking about people who are doing professional, mega churches or, professional concert venues, but let's say you're just trying to do a mixing in a bar with some videos and you want to put some video in the other room so people can see what's going on also, or maybe have the videos in the bar be on the band as opposed to be on the sports game was on there because the band wants you to shut the TVs. Well, this is where it's going to be 4K. So if you've got a 4K mixer and 4K cameras, you can be going 4K within the venue, and then you could be going out on the stream 1080p, which is still our preferred way to go. And in fact, Facebook still 720p is the way most of us go to Facebook. So I'm really saying at this point you should be investigating shooting and acquiring in 4K. Next step, some kind of mixer in 4K. And the last thing you need to do is encode to 4K. And what I'm going to suggest at that point is you're probably going to be better off having a dedicated encoder for your 4K and then still going 1080p at the same time, because I'm just not sure all your viewers are going to have the ability to download a 4K reliably. And if they get sync issues or they get juddering, they're going to blame you, not their ISP or their own network. Next question, Oliver.
Alrighty, so another question that we get a lot is about NDI. Obviously, we use a lot of NDI tools to produce this show. So one really popular one is, what is your best tip for an NDI workflow? And that's coming to us this week from Sarah.
Okay, Sarah, that's a great question. And this tip is the same tip consistently, and I'm hoping I won't have to give this tip anymore, which is do not mix NDI HX and NDI encoders, full NDI encoders. What happens is, or NDI PTZ cameras in this case, when you mix the two, what you get, unfortunately, is instability, unreliability, and sometimes you will crash your mixer. Be it a TriCaster, vMix, Wirecast, they see the two different signals, they get a little confused, and unfortunately what we found when those crashes happen, sometimes they're take you a little bit to get your show back to where it was, information gets lost. So do not mix full NDI and NDI HX stuff together for now. Now NDI 4.0 is going to come out pretty soon, and I've been told by some of my inside folks over at NewTek that they will be addressing some of those issues, which is really great. I also want to point out this picture. If you look at this picture, you'll see in that upper corner we have a SlingStudio. Well, the SlingStudio Cam Link is not, I repeat, not an NDI device, but people say, I want to go wireless. What can I do wireless? Well, you can use the Connect Sparks, of course. So they're like, can I use a Cam Link? It's $349. Why can't I use that with a TriCaster? Well, you can't. The Cam Link is really made for the Sling, which is its own little ecosystem. Now, the Sling with the Cam Links is a great system, but basically, if you'll remember from our videos, the Sling Hub becomes its own RF wireless hotspot. And that's how it speaks to the Cam Links and to your phone. So if you're going to be Sling, you want Cam Links, the Sparks won't work with Slings, and the Cam Links won't work with NDI as far as that goes. We also have in this picture the BirdDog encoders and the NewTek Pro encoders. Those are not wireless, but we wanted to stress about the mixing of NDI and NDI HX devices. So there you go. That's our little tip. And like I said, hopefully that's going to be a temporary tip that will be fixed with future versions of NDI. What's the next one?
So shifting gears a little bit here, Dan wants to know a question about storage solutions, and specifically why his Thunderbolt 3 doesn't work when he plugs it into his computer.
Okay. This one, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I used to have hair. Then I had so many people calling me with this problem. I was pulling my hair out trying to explain it to people because the industry botched this launch royally. They really did. They came out saying that you'd be able to convert Thunderbolt 3 to USB-C and you'd be able to use the same jack, and unfortunately that was a big lie and it wasn't possible. The good news is there's solutions coming forward. There's a new USB 4 standard that's been announced that will be compatible, backwards compatible with USB-C 3, 2.1 and Thunderbolt 3, and also there's a new chipset that's come out that our folks over at LaCie are actually using in a new product that will allow you to do either USB-C or Thunderbolt 3. Now the thing about this chipset is it's intelligent. So if you're plugging it in Thunderbolt to Thunderbolt, you'll get the full 2800 potential throughput. If you're plugging it into a USB-C, then it's going to scale down to 950 megabytes per second. But 950 megabytes per second is still really fast. In fact, how fast is 950 megabytes per second? Well, let's talk about external RAIDs and SSDs. If you've got an external SSD, it's going to pump out about the full 950. An SSD RAID or a single, but if you want to go faster than 950, you need an SSD RAID, or you need the new NVMe SSDs, which are coming out more and more and they are faster, or you need a RAID of at least 4 drives, of 6 or 8 drives. A 4-drive external array will give you about 1,000 megabits per second. So let's say that's equal to USB-C. So even if you hook that up via Thunderbolt 3, you're only going to get to that level. So if you need more than 1,000 megabits per second, you want to go with a 6 or an 8 bay or larger array, or you want to go with an SSD RAID or NVMEs. And speaking of NVMEs, can we roll a video? Because this is the new product that the folks at LaCie came out with. It's super cool. It's a rugged portable device. It's available in 2 flavors. One flavor that's Thunderbolt 3 and USBC via the same exact jack, or the orange rugged, which is strictly USB-C. Let's roll what we have there. This is just a portion of that video, folks. Okay, so the difference between the black and the orange is strictly the connectivity. It's the same exact guts inside. Very cool product, and we'll learn more about that. But also, when you were in there, you saw that the black unit was being used with a red camera, and I think we have a question about red coming up next, correct?
Yes, we do. So our next question concerning red is how do you edit red footage? What is the best workstation to use? And that comes with us from Bill. And he also wants to know, can he build his own computer system?
All right. This is a great question. For now, what I'm going to tell you is we're still going to recommend an HP workstation with a Z6 or the Z8000 for about $7,500 and $999. But what really happened with Red that's super exciting is last year, they got together with the folks at NVIDIA and tapped into a special subset of CUDA instructions that allow you now to do full real-time debaying of up to 8K playback. Now, in the past, the playback was the real issue. You could edit the footage, but you couldn't get full frame, full resolution playback. You can now with these 2 cards, the Quadro RTX 6000, which is a $5,000 card, or the gamer card, the RTX 2080 Ti, which is about $1,200 to $1,500, depending on what it comes bundled with. Now, I want to go back to this for a second. The workstations we are showing you with this pricing, that's with like a standard kind of, let's figure a $1,000 graphics card. So those prices, if you're going to try to put an RTX 6000, you got to be prepared. It's going to be about another $4 grand more. But I am going to look into doing a DIY Red machine around the RTX 2080 Ti. And in fact, I've got a conference call with the folks at Red later this week to review with their engineers what I want to try to put together, get their blessing, see where we are on it. But I think it's an important thing because there's a lot of people who want to mess around, want to start using Red. Maybe they want to rent Red footage or get a Red camera. And that level of resolution really requires some heavy horsepower to work with. Now, I just want to stress, Videoguys does not sell Red. However, we are simply giving you this as an example because so many of our customers are asking us about questions editing Red footage either in Premiere or Avid or in Final Cut Pro X. So we're going to do a little bit of a Red research. That'll be a article on our website and a future show on a Newsday Tuesday. We'll talk about the machine. We're going to talk about machines for different applications, which Red will be there. We're also going to talk about for streaming, for vMix, for stuff like that. So by all means, tune into that future show. Very good question. Very good question.
Alrighty, so we're close to the end of the show. I got one more question for you. We had kind of addressed it already, but it's looking like James is trying to win the trivia contest at NAB, and he actually just asked you directly, why are the LaCie drives orange?
All right, this is a real funny one. The guys at LaCie actually just put up a little blog post about it, and I'm thinking, why are they orange? So one of the questions was so you don't get shot while you're editing, like the hunters wear orange as safety gear. Another thought was maybe so you can look flashy and people can recognize it. The other people thought, well, someone's favorite color was orange. Orange, you glad I didn't say banana? I don't know why it was. The answer was kind of cool. It was because they wanted you to think of these drives as being as rugged as a basketball. So I think that was kind of good, and I think it's something that got lost, but we're going to play that up a lot when we talk about rugged drives from now on in the future. Now, I want to cut to a bonus question. Can you put that camera on Oliver for a second?
Sure.
I can't believe how good this footage works. You guys don't realize it, but I'm lit gorgeous. I have all this great lighting around me. The guys in the back have no lighting over there. They're dealing with the ambient lighting coming off of basically the TriCaster and whatever bouncing off the walls around here. So how do they get that great footage? Guys, PTZOptics has just come out with a brand new little mini webcam. You mount it right on your monitor like that, and it's a webcam. Plug and play, works great with Skype, WebEx. I've used it with Cisco, all the different web stuff. I have one in my office. It's on my desk. And we said, let's try this in a live production environment. And it looks great. Cut back to Oliver. This is real incredible. It's 4K, it's widescreen, which I like a lot, so you're not really zoomed up on the people. You get a wider angle of view. You guys can see how great this thing looks, and it's under $100. So by all means, go to our website, learn more about the PTZ webcam. Great product from PTZOptics. Now, did we get any questions from the peanut gallery? George, do you have a question? Josh, do you have a question? I see you're on there, and I want to make another comment. I want to compliment George, because George did an article on SlingStudio that got picked up by Sling, and he was a guest blog author. So kudos to George, a fan of ours, a fan of Sling, who does a great job, and we're really excited that he was able to do that. All right, I'm going to wait for some questions. In the meantime, let's talk about what we have coming up on future shows. Next show, LiveView Solo. We have Telestream's got a new Wirecast product that they're finally going to let us tell you about. They're announcing it at IBC. BirdDog has BirdDog Central Pro and managing their NDI workflows. Plus, we're going to be doing a show on those new LaCie rugged SSDs. Not only do they have the little mini rugged SSDs that we can't wait to show you, they have a new Boss product that's really intended for general videographers in the field to be able to get your footage off of your memory card into a better device, quicker, faster, with screens that let you know what you're capturing and see what you're doing. Very cool concept, cool product. We're real excited about that. Okay, I don't see that we have any questions, so I want to thank everyone who turned into the show today. This was really great. We want to get the Ask the Video Guy into a regular part of our program. Like I said, we're going to do quarterly for sure. The goal is to do it monthly. We'll bounce around whether it'll be the first Tuesday of the month or the last Tuesday of the month. We'll see. But I want to thank you guys for some great questions. Remember, you can send those questions to us on our Facebook feed from any of our shows. You can also do it on any other program you want to come into. You can send us emails. You can do it by just calling us and asking us questions. We'll put it on. I see we have a question. Can that mini PTZ be used on the SlingStudio? Okay, it's not a PTZ camera, folks. This is a webcam. Just like one of the cheap little webcams you get from Logic or Bell, whatever, you know. It's a little $100 webcam, but it works really great. It's USB, so you need a USB input. But I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll try plugging it into the USB on a SlingStudio and see how it works. But I don't think that's going to get the job done. We're plugging it directly into the TriCaster, correct? As just a USB input?
Yes, so it's plugged directly into the TriCaster, and then it's watching me from the monitor that I have in front of me. And we're lighting this just with 2 monitor screens, so that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I think we did a great job on this show, guys. I want to thank Adam and I want to thank Oliver for doing a great job with this show. The tech crew, we have a Videoguys, are doing a great job. They're really coming with the shows. It was their idea to do an Ask the Videoguys show when yet another vendor canceled because of IBC. So very happy, great show, guys. Please like us on Facebook, ask your questions. Like our YouTube page, comment on our YouTube videos. We love doing this show. We want more of you people to share the love with other people so we can get more followers, more subscribers. This is Gary from Videoguys.com. You give us 20 minutes on a Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We're going to teach you about the products we sell, the technology industry, and hopefully impart a little bit of knowledge on you. So Gary from Videoguys. Peace.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.